There we go. Don't mind me fumbling around for a second there like I've never used OBS before. Anyway, hi! I am streaming today because I decided I wanted to stream and that's really all it takes. I'd like to do more with this channel in the new year. I feel like I think I only made maybe 2 or 3 videos last year, and I'm pretty sure like 2 of those were newsletter videos, which are like only half videos when you think about it. But I would like to do more. So we're gonna start small and easy with what everybody does when they want to record and make a video, but they don't want to put too much effort into it, which is a tier list video. As you can see, it is still a beautiful, wonderful December day over here. That's right, I'm not late to making a tier list video of the games that I played last year. In fact, if anything, I am right on time. It is still December. I don't know what you guys are talking about. January? Late January? I don't even know what that is. Anyway, let me know if the sound is okay. You probably noticed if you were in chat, like, right bright and early, I was kind of fiddling with the sound levels. Hopefully it's okay now. I guess we'll find out together. Let me check a few things real quick. Hopefully the overlay looks okay. Ooh, that seed's really blending in with the snow in the chat box. Hi, welcome in. But also this is like an overlay I'm only going to use probably this once, so I'm not like too worried about it looking bad. Because it only needs to look okay once. Oh, whoops. I'm on the wrong screen. Don't mind me going through my stuff. As you can tell, I am very professional, and I planned this well ahead of time, and I did not spend like a ton of time trying to make sure that everything looked right and then realizing that it didn't look right and then kind of panicking over that. I would never do something like that. I'm a professional streamer over here. All right, just want to make sure that everything looks okay. If it will let me. Why is this always such a pain? I feel like every time I stream, they've changed something about how it works. Just enough that I'm always trying to like figure out where everything is again, which is never what you want. Oh well, we'll just trust that the streaming quality is fine. If anybody notices anything weird, please let me know. For some reason, I can't see the stream health quality. It's probably because of how I set it up. Okay, anyway, let's get into it then. So, I played some video games last school year. Why do I keep saying school year? Last year. I played some video games last year. I did not play a lot of video games. I have purposefully kind of stretched the definition of what a video game I played with last year looks like, just to give myself more things to rank, because it's so sad. Every December, I always want to make a video like this, but I've only played maybe 5 to 7 games if I'm lucky. And that's not even enough for a top 10. We have our lovely little chart. Love it and recommend it to anyone. I feel like recommendations is something that I hold in high value as far as like what makes a video game good, is if you would suggest it to anybody else. Right below that is I love it and I would recommend it to most people, then liked it, and others might too. That's when I usually start to like gauge, is this kind of a game that I think somebody would like, or because something like, spoiler alert, Deltarune is a game where I feel like almost anybody could get something out of it. But then other games like Kingdoms, it's a very small management kind of thing. Oh. I didn't know I had that going. I'm just gonna... Yeah. Then just kind of games that were okay, and then games that I wouldn't play again and I wouldn't recommend to anybody. You'll notice that none of these tiers are particularly mean, and that's because since I don't play a lot of video games, most of the games I play, I do end up liking. They're ones that I've kind of vetted heavily beforehand. And then at the bottom we have didn't play personally, because I watch people play things on YouTube, and they're games that I like. And I would say that they're games I love even sometimes. Or my sister will play a game and I'll watch her play it. But I haven't played it personally, and the act of playing a game is a good half of what makes gaming a thing. So it feels weird to try and rank it with everything else. So I have a special tier for that, just because they are games that meant a lot to me over 2025. Also, for anybody who's kind of like, why are you streaming in the early morning? Who would be up and not at a job at an early Friday morning to be able to watch? It's just the time that worked best for me. Unfortunately, at this time in my life, streaming is just something that kind of has to work around my schedule. So, yeah. My parents were able to enjoy Deltarune with me, so yeah, I agree. That's amazing. I could never, like, trying to even talk to my parents about video games is like pulling teeth. I could not imagine trying to get them to play Deltarune, but I'm so happy that other people get the experience of family members that enjoy and can enjoy video games with them. All right, let's go ahead and start with, I just have them listed down here in a mostly random order of games that I played or watched somebody else play. We'll go ahead and start with Rain World. Now, I have played Rain World before, but I finally broke and bought the More Slugcats DLC, and I'm going to be ranking each Slugcat from that DLC separately. Again, I have made this just so that I have more things to rank because I want to, and also because each Slugcat is pretty unique. First off and foremost, we have Artificer. And she is going right in wouldn't play again and don't recommend. Now, there is a big reason for this. It is possible that she would be a very fun route to play. But I am not somebody who does a lot of combat in Rain World. I mostly just try to survive and make friends with the scavs. So a route in that game where you have to fight and make enemies isn't very fun. But more than anything, I played this on my Switch. Just because my Switch is my main... is one of the two main ways that I play video games. And the Switch doesn't like Rain World. And it doesn't specifically like Artificer in the sense that it wants you to hold down like 2 buttons at the same time in order to use her special ability where she like flings herself into the air. And I tried that for all of 10 minutes and decided I hated it and I wasn't having fun and I gave up. And that's that whole story. Alright, next Slugcat, just to get all of these little guys out of the way. We have Gourmand. Gourmand was the first one I played. Oh, do I want him there? I haven't actually thought about where I'd rank a lot of these. You know what? I'd say I liked it and others might too. After having played a lot of vanilla Rain World, where you can't do a lot, you're just a weak little slug cat of a guy, this was the first one that I played where you actually have abilities you can use and you can kind of fight back a little better. And it just feels good. It feels good to like have more going on. In line with that, love and would recommend most people Rivulet. Rivulet is a great route in that game. He's fast, he jumps high, he can swim really well. It's astounding. It's everything you ever wanted Rain World to be and more. Similar to that, I'm actually going to go ahead and put Spearmaster in the liked it, and others might too. Spearmaster, for those who don't know, he lets you throw more spears. Woo! He's only a carnivore though, which can be difficult to play with. And it's specifically you have to kill enemies with your spears while they are alive, which can get frustrating. There's also this whole section where the best way to get between two places is a very, very long, not very, very long, but pretty long run on a cable that ends with you falling a lot. And then when you don't fall, you get killed by vultures a lot, which was not as fun. Which is why he's down here and Rivulet's all the way up here. And then finally, it was okay with Saint. Saint has the same disclaimer as Artificer, which is that I had a hard time playing it. Because in order to use Saint's ability, you have to hold down 2 buttons at the same time. And I decided I hated that and I gave up after that point. And also I kept dying in 5 Pebbles when I was trying to do that stuff. It was very frustrating. But I like his little tongue ability. I like being able to swing a little bit. That's fun. That's good. Alright, getting out of Rain World. Other games that I played. Let's get the first one of Deltarune. That's right. I'm breaking up the Slug Cats, and I'm also breaking up Deltarune chapters 3 and 4 into 2 parts. That's how desperate I am for things to rank. And I would say, I didn't mean to put that there. Deltarune chapter 3. This might be controversial. I'm gonna put it in liked it, and others might too. Because I really, really did like chapter 3. But it's kind of weighed down by the fact that I know other people didn't enjoy it as much. Which is sad because I think Deltarune chapter 3 is such a breath of fresh air. It is so different from chapters 1 and 2. I think it immediately jolts you out of... Anybody who's been into Deltarune knows that. Between the chapter 2 release and the chapter 3 and 4 release, everybody kind of thought they knew the pattern that Deltarune was going in. You could at least guess what a dark world would look like. And I felt like chapter 3 was really good at just coming out and being like, forget what you know. It's going to do whatever it wants. We're going to play a video game for 90% of this chapter. And I loved the video game, personally. I think some people thought it was not as fun as normal gameplay, but I thought it was really, really good. But the fact that I know other people didn't, kind of, as far as recommendations for people, brings it down a little in my mind. If that makes any sense. Accelerator. Regarding the chapters, I would put 1, 2, and 3 at the same place, and only chapter 4 being above them. I think that's a pretty... I would put chapter 1 below chapters 2 and 3. Chapter 1, I think, is good. I think it sets the tone. It kind of sets a lot of the things that are going to be broken, rules that are going to be broken in chapters, the future chapters. But overall, it's just kind of okay as far as gameplay and everything. More games that I played. First in our didn't play personally, Kingdom Hearts 1. I didn't play Kingdom Hearts 1, but my sister did. And let me say, it looks like a cute game. I've loved Kingdom Hearts since I was 6 because I read the manga from the library. Playing it looks miserable. You can tell that it is not a game that was made recently with how it just looks miserable to play. The plotline is pretty good. I think the manga did a lot to kind of massage it and make it make a little more sense. But what they say about Kingdom Hearts games are true, where they just kind of throw a bunch of words about heart and light and darkness at you, and you just feel like you don't even understand what's going on anymore. Rapandrus Must 8231. I can read names. I have a distinct memory when playing chapter 3 for the first time where my sister so that's why it took so long when Tenna did his intro. Tenna's intro blew my mind when it has the like video, but then it cuts to him in the dark world and he looks just like he does in the video. I love the way Tenna looks in the game. Jacob, welcome in. Oh my god, you were on a phone call? You were at work instead of watching my stream? That's okay. You just missed the beginning where I talk about Rain World, a game that nobody else plays or enjoys. In fact, Rain World, it took me a good like 20 hours to enjoy, which is not a mark of a good game. So, makes sense. Let's go ahead and go with my next one, Nine Souls. Nine Souls is the first game I played in 2025. I think I finished it sometime in early January. And I gotta say, I really liked it. I'm gonna go ahead, though, and put it... Guys, this tier is gonna get so full. I liked it, and others might, too. So, a big part... Raz is so much easier to say. I love that. Thank you so much. Jacob, if you played Rain World, you would go crazy. I would actually love to see you play it, though. You've been streaming recently. So the reason why I put Nine Souls in the liked it and others might too and not in love it and recommend it to most people is just because of how hard the gameplay is. There is a steep, at least for me, there was a very steep learning curve of you learning to use the parry mechanic. I was stuck on the first boss for a long time. I was stuck in the first corridor for a long time as I tried to figure out how to play the game. That being said, very good. I was about to say I beat the game, and that's a lie. I got to the final boss, and then I decided I did not want to fight the final boss after trying a few times, and I realized she had some pretty rough attacks, and I just felt like I was sinking and not understanding anything. Maybe someday I'll go back and actually finish the game. I got to the very end, at least. I was also a little sad because I meant to get everything before the point of no return, and I thought I knew when the point of no return was. Turns out I didn't, and then I was missing like 2 things from collecting everything in the game, which made me upset. Counterpoint Lady Ethereal. Counterpoint, I was stuck on Lady Ethereal for 2 days at least. I was stuck on her for so long, maybe even 3 days. There was a time where my friend came over, and I think she just watched me fail at fighting Lady Ethereal forever. And a lot of people get her really easy because she telegraphs and she really clearly teaches you how to avoid her moves. But there's 2 moves that I just had a really hard time distinguishing fast enough. Lady Ethereal is very pretty. Don't get me wrong. She's hot. But also, I would never, ever, 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 ever want to do that fight again. Unclear point of no return sucks. So part of it was that it was like, oh, I know that if I enter this specific, not this specific room. I thought it was if I interact with a certain thing in this room, it's the point of no return. Turns out it was just entering that room, and I accidentally entered that room, and I couldn't jump back out, and I was stuck. And it sucked. Alright, other games that I have played. That's right, baby. Going right in the love it and recommend it to most people. Pokemon Go. I am one of those people who still play Pokemon Go. I am bending the rules to include the 2 games that I play on my phone, one of which being Pokemon Go. Mostly there was somebody at my work who was playing it a lot. She doesn't play it as much anymore, which is kind of a shame. But did you know that games are often more fun when you have somebody else to play it with? I got to experience that myself, and it was great. And now she doesn't play it anymore, and now I'm kind of on my own again with nobody else to play it with. And there's this whole mission where you have to be playing with somebody else. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. I think Pokemon Go is a perfectly fun game. I think most people would be able to enjoy it, maybe not forever, but for a little bit. And sometimes it gives me... You joke Cookie Run Kingdom is going on here somewhere. And sometimes Pokemon Go gives me the little push I need to go on a walk, and you know, that does a lot. That does a lot. I know, I'm one of the last 5 people. It's really impressive. Not to brag, this person has Lynx Griffin on her friend list because she jumped on that when Lynx Griffin was asking for friends. Yeah, every so often they send me presents, so it's pretty good. It's great for connecting with people. Again, that's what I really liked about it, was a way at my new job to kind of further connect with some of the people there. People really thought this game would be the future. Do you remember the way people would talk about this back in like 2016 or whatever? Where they thought it was... I mean, it was always wishful thinking, but the idea that it would almost revolutionize how we made connections with people. And I kind of wish we lived in that future, you know? Alright, next up, Metaphor ReFantazio. This was a nominee for Game of the Year in, I want to say, 2025? Okay, sorry, actually, one second. I'm going to adjust the level of my mic, and I'm going to turn off my mic while I do that so you guys don't hear gross, weird, crunchy sounds. There, that's way more comfortable. Okay. Metaphor ReFantazio. My sister played... I'm not including this on the list just because I didn't want to, but my sister played Persona 3 Reloaded, and that seemed fun. And I knew that Metaphor ReFantazio was kind of the same game. So I wanted to give it a try. Oh, wait, really quick. Pokemon Go talk. Pretty much everyone I know still playing it as a mom. Don't know why that is. I'm an adult. I'm not a mom, but I am an adult, so that probably means something. I mean, I don't know how many young people play Pokemon Go. This is probably the only Pokemon game I've played in a minute, actually. Anyway, Metaphor ReFantazio. I was really excited to play it. I knew that it got nominated for Game of the Year in like 2024. Yeah. It was just so... It was okay. Which pains me to say, because there are parts of the game that I really, really loved. I thought the loop of trying to decide what to do with your day, whether you want to like take on the dungeon, make connections with people, make yourself smarter and stronger and more fitting to be the king, were good. I liked that gameplay loop, but the loop felt too small. I believe Persona 3 takes place over almost a whole year. It's not on my list because I only watched my sister play some of it, so I feel bad even putting it on the didn't play personally tier. But Metaphor only takes place over maybe 4 months, which isn't a lot of time when days pass by so quickly. And a lot of the themes that I was building up, I felt like kind of never got the resolution I was hoping for. The plot twist with the main protagonist was interesting, but I also didn't like how it was entirely resolved. It was okay. I got to the final boss, and I did beat the final boss, but I lowered the difficulty so much because the final boss was so much harder than everything leading up to him. I don't know why. And then he had 2 phases, which is even worse when you have like a mana system and it doesn't regenerate. It sucked. I didn't have a good time fighting that guy, which just also makes it end on an even worse note than I already wasn't happy with how the themes were resolving. So, it was okay. I probably wouldn't recommend it unless you're like my friend who I play video games with, and then I can be like, do you want to play this game? It kind of sucks. And then we can both play it and be like, wow, that's amazing. Sorry, 1 second. Sorry, work texting me about something. Nothing big. Everything's fine. Okay. Anyway, metaphor. It was just okay. I was so sad. I was so disappointed. I mean, a lot of times I feel like when I have a game that's just okay, that I feel like was just okay, is because I built it up in my mind. Like, I think, what is it? Sea of Stars is just okay. But in reality, it's probably a pretty good game. It would probably be more in a, like, I liked it tier. But I would put it down in it was okay just because I felt disappointed by it. And maybe I should replay it, though. I don't know. Maybe it's better than I thought. Yeah, Jacob, like I was saying, it was, like, a Game of the Year nominee. I just couldn't get with it. My friend JG Panther really liked it, but I haven't played it myself, so I can't say. A lot of people, again, a lot of people must like it, but it blows my mind because I feel like I had such a weird time with it. And then it was disappointing at the end because you only had so much time to build your connections with your friends, and I didn't build the connections as much as I wanted to. And then that also, like, I also wanted them all to be in their cool final forms, but because I didn't build enough connections, they couldn't be in their cool final forms. So maybe, like, what I just needed was a second playthrough? I don't know. I'm talking, right? I am. Okay. For a second, I was so worried that I was just going out on a rant, and I had accidentally left myself on mute, which has happened before. There was one time I tried to stream, and I was quiet for so very long. Alright, next thing that I played. Knitting! I did so much knitting this year. If you're ever like, wow, Brownie, Why didn't you post more videos? I was probably knitting. This is just me saying that I like to knit. We're just going to move right on from that one. I'm working on a sweater, but there's not much more to say than that. I think having physical crafts that you do and you get a physical product at the end is very important to have. But nobody wants me preaching at them. Next up on games I did not play personally. Kingdom Hearts 2. I'm actually going to go ahead and put this ahead of... Can I put this ahead of Kingdom... Yeah. Ahead of Kingdom Hearts 1. It looked more fun than Kingdom Hearts 1. I didn't play it, but I really like Roxas and I really like Axel, and that does a lot to make me really like a game. Listen. Okay, I come from crochet. But I was trying to crochet sweaters and they weren't turning out how I wanted, and I realized the way to get a sweater I wanted was to knit it, and so I've gotten into knitting. I was working on some granny squares at one point to make a cardigan, but I was using natural fibers and those are expensive, and so it's a whole thing. But I promise, I do hold respect. Mwah. I respect the sister game of crochet. Let's just go ahead and finish off the Kingdom Hearts. That's right. I watched my sister play Kingdom Hearts 3. She bought the like collection. We are currently playing Kingdom Hearts 3D. I didn't even include Chain of Memories on here or Birth by Sleep just because I didn't want to. Both of them are... Chain of Memories seems bad. Birth by Sleep seems slightly better, but not great because it was made to be played on a PSP. Anyway, Kingdom Hearts 3 seems pretty fun. The plotline gets confusing though, especially near the end, which sucks because I actually think it's really good near the beginning, and then it kind of gets jumbled, but that's just kind of Kingdom Hearts for ya, and you kind of have to accept that's just a part of it. Watched a playthrough on knitting but could never get into it. Many people struggle. It's... As somebody who went from crocheting to knitting, even then when you already have kind of like an understanding of like this is yarn, this is yarn tension, this is how you make things, it's rough, it's hard. It feels like you're balancing things really poorly in your hands. It's bad. It can feel bad. I don't blame people who can't get into it. But I'd recommend at least giving the playthrough a shot. If you can. That text in my chat box looks really big. Maybe I should have made it smaller. Oh well. I'll hopefully be streaming more. Never got into Kingdom Hearts. I just think it's hilarious that you have a JRPG where Donald Duck is a party member. It's amazing. I love it so much. One of the great things about Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance is you go to the Musketeer world from the movie where Goofy, Donald Duck, and Mickey are Musketeers, and I love that movie as a kid, and I just rewatched it, and it's still really funny. Beautiful. What more could you want from a video game? And then, like, you get to beat up Pete and maybe kill him. Wait, I don't think you actually kind of kill him in that one, do you? Oh, well. I think it's wonderful. I think it's... that kind of funniness of the Kingdom Hearts characters are there. Absolutely 1000% worthwhile. Alright, next up. I actually am not sure I played this game this year. Last year? This year. That's right, because it's December. This year. Haha. Remember my little funny bit from the beginning? I totally do. Anyway. I think I played it in 2025. There is a possibility I played it in 2024. Please, guys, don't kill me for this. Wait. Somebody said something. Kingdom Hearts is always something I've had an eye on. Lots of Xenoblade playthroughs I've seen have compared the two series. That, from my little understanding of Xenoblade, that sounds accurate because they both have weird lore going on that complicates everything, but also if you get into it, it's a lot of fun. Again, I've only ever watched people play the game, but I've been into Kingdom Hearts for a long time. Anyway, the game I probably played in 2025. Little Goody Two Shoes. Oof. I mean, it definitely was 2025. It would never be 2024. Okay. I'm really split. I'll be generous and put it in It Was Okay. But I probably wouldn't play it again. So, Little Goody Two Shoes is this video game that's supposed to be a prequel to some indie RPG maker game, Pocket Mirror, which I also haven't played. And it has really, really beautiful art. Like, to die for art. I love pixel art. But I was so disappointed by it. It has this idea of like, talk to the townspeople, learn the many mysteries of the town, try to sacrifice somebody to a witch or to this evil devil at the end to get your dreams to come true. Something like that. There's like one mystery in town to solve, and it's like the main plot. So that was super disappointing for me. The gameplay could be so frustrating, and if you don't do things exactly right, you end up having to replay a lot of the game, and then having to go through a lot of the really, really annoying gameplay areas. I had an almost miserable time with it. But, again, the artwork does a lot for me to kind of rank it a little higher to get it at least into the It Was Okay list. I don't think I would really recommend it to anybody unless you really want to just see it. It's cute that, like, it's lesbians. It's cute that she's a lesbian and all three romance options are girls. That's cute. Let me see if I can find... If you want to see the art, you'll look it up. Next up. Let's go ahead. I wouldn't... okay, so I would play again. Cookie Run Kingdom. Gacha games are predatory, they're gambling, they're bad. Cookie Run Kingdom is my vice, though. I'm allowed to have a vice. I'm allowed to have one gambling game as a treat. Mine is Cookie Run Kingdom. I've been playing it for a very long time also, so I have some of that fun, sunk cost fallacy going on where I'm like, wow, I put so much work into my kingdom, I can't just give it up now. For the record, I have never spent a dime on this game. That is my one good thing I have going on here, is I have not spent any money on this game. And also, I really, really, really like White Lily Cookie and Silent Salt Cookie. I would not recommend anybody play this game. Every once in a blue moon, I try to get my sister to play just because it's more fun to play games with people, and I need people in my guild because it's empty, but I also don't want to join another guild. That's neither here nor there. If I could, I wouldn't play it, but hear me out. The little cookies look really cute, though. The little cookies, so cute. Sometimes there's a really fun design. Man, from the distance of my small phone screen, that image looks like nothing. That's okay. Alright. Back to Rain World, baby. Last of the Rain World. The Watcher. This is the DLC that came out this year. Came out on PC sometime in like... oh, I want to say March. And then it came out on Switch, and I played it on Switch because, again, that's where I play most of my games. And, oof. This is a rough one, actually. So I really liked The Watcher. I cannot, in good conscience, recommend it to people in the same way that, like, I couldn't recommend Rain World to most people. Rain World is a very, very frustrating game. You die a lot. There's a lot of RNG that goes into just where things are and how you might die. My favorite YouTubers played this game, not The Watcher, but Rain World in general. And it was great to watch them play, but it was also miserable whenever they were getting frustrated. I also, again, I played The Watcher on the Switch, and the Switch hates Rain World. And so I would often be in the middle of doing something, and the software would just stop working, and I would have to reload and start over. And then on top of that, the Watcher has a lot of regions, and a lot of them are very, very frustrating to me, just because I am bad at, I wouldn't say bad at video games, but I am like mid at video games. So I like the Watcher. I think if you're looking for bang for buck, definitely worth it. I played it for a long time. I think it actually has a little bit clearer of a storyline than vanilla Rain World does, which says a lot in both directions. This game also, though, had kind of like, not exactly a point of no return, but I missed out on a big buff because I went too far in the game, and I spent 90% of the rest of the game wishing I had bothered to essentially collect all of a collectible before it was gone, which would have made the rest of the game infinitely easier. Next up, you know her. You love her. Maybe. She got 1 million awards. Expedition 33. I didn't play this game. I didn't play it. I watched my sister play it. I'd like to play it sometime. It looks fun. It also has a parry mechanic, sort of like Nine Souls. But my sister had a great time with it, and she sometimes, I mean, we all can struggle with games. So it looks really good. The big plot twist at the end of Act 2 kind of disappointed me. I think, it's something that you could do, but I don't know if it's the most fun thing you could have done with Expedition 33. But I really like the characters, which does a lot for a video game. I really, really liked Gustav because he kind of looks like Reeve Twesty, and I am a known Reeve Twesty lover. Yeah, not much to say about it. Again, it's in the didn't play personally tier. Top of it because it looks great. Alright, let's see. This, somewhere out there, my friend Mal Goes Meow is going to stop in her morning and put her hand to her chest and say, "My heart just broke a little bit. And that is because I am putting Fields of Mystria in the wouldn't play again and don't recommend tier." And there is, okay. So, Fields of Mystria is a game that is like a Stardew Valley-like. It is a farming little sim. And it looks so cute. There is a very, very good reason I am putting it all the way down here. That is because I only have one method of playing PC games, and it is called my shitty little laptop. And this just in. When a game has something like Rain, my shitty little laptop decides it hates the video game. And Fields of Mystria has Rain. And it is not very fun to be very, very slowly walking around a town while your laptop lags trying to keep up with the rain of a pixel art game. It's a pixel art game. Laptop, why are you kicking up such a fuss? So Fields of Mystria looks like a fun game. I'd actually really like to play it again, which it seems silly that I'm saying I'd like to play it again, and I put it in the wouldn't play again game tier list, but like, based on my experience, would I open it again on my crappy little laptop and play it? Probably not. Again, I cannot say enough. It looks like a really fun and cute game. Okay, let's see. Next up. Back on the didn't play personally tier list. This is our last one on that list. Dispatch. I have not played Dispatch. Yet, it is a video game that has consumed my life. Consumed my world. Since sometime in like mid-December. Which it is right now. Happy December, everyone. It probably isn't that good of a game. It's probably a mid game, but I think the characters are really fun. I have complicated thoughts on superheroes, but you give me a sad little guy who's a superhero, kind of like Matt Murdock-y, I fall in love. I just love it. I have watched at least 3 or 4 playthroughs of it. I think I'm watching a 4th or a 5th right now, depending on how many I've watched before. Yes, Dispatch is something I like a lot. It has gotten me to write more fanfiction in the last like month or two than I have probably in all of 2025. And I like writing, so it's nice. It's nice to really, really be into something. I mentioned that I liked it to a friend of mine, and now he really wants me to play. Oh, I want to say it is. I always get the 2 zombie games mixed up. The Telltale zombie game. Is that The Last of Us? No. The Walking Dead. There we go. The Walking Dead. Hi, welcome in. Your watch has to be a month ahead because it is, as you can see from the snow on my layout and the Christmas lights, it is still December 2025, a reasonable time to be making a 2025 ranking video. To be fair, it's not a great laptop that I have. It is not made for playing games. That being said, yes, I also, when it was started lagging, I was like, what is wrong with this game that it is making my stuff lag so badly? Are we that far away from each other? Walking Dead, yes. Anyway, I do actually have The Walking Dead on my PS5 now. I got it on sale. So it wasn't even that much. He actually gave me a gift card so that I would buy it. I am 10 to 15 minutes into the game, and it looks really good. I actually really, really dug the beginning of it. I'm just don't know if I'm in a place right now where I want to be playing a new game that I might get obsessed with. I don't know. I've tried to explain it to my friend, and he totally didn't get what I meant by that. It's clear he doesn't experience like gaming obsession. I don't know, the same way I do. I don't know if anybody else has I'm sure other people have done that actually, where you don't want to watch or play something that you know you're gonna love because you know you're gonna love it. That's true. Arguably January is better, but I feel like not as many people do it in 2026, like in the January. It's usually a December wrap-up video. Okay, we only have a few more games here. Let's go ahead. Let's do what everybody's been waiting for. I'm just going to put it right at the top, guys. Deltarune Chapter 4. Amazing. Amazing. This might be kind of a hard swing. It might be my bias showing through. That's okay. This is my tier list. This is my YouTube channel. I'm going to let my bias in. And I think Chapter 4 is amazing. It has so much going for it. You get Deltarune. We're back in the Dark Worlds. We're going in and out of Dark Worlds. We have this moment where you're just the soul wandering around the holiday household. How can you not love that? How can you not, like, be so intensely oh, spoilers, by the way. I figured everybody would know. I'm a Deltarune channel, essentially. Spoilers. Really good game. Really, really, really love Chapter 4. Makes me so excited for what Toby Fox has planned for the rest of the series. Okay. Let's see. Let's go. Hades 2. Is that what the old man's laugh sounds like? I just think it's a good, like, har har har. I love the old man. The old man is great. You know what? I think I'm gonna put it in. Do I want to put it there? You know what? Let's go ahead and do it in. I love it, and I would recommend Hades 2 to most people. Because I think I would. I think I did love it, and I would recommend it to most people. But, like most people, I was a little disappointed by the ending. Specifically, I was a little disappointed by the Hypnos stuff, which I know was the point. That doesn't mean that it's not disappointing, even if the point was for it to be disappointing. Old man might be my favorite character in the new chapters. I'm so serious. I'm so serious. He is amazing. I love him. I think he's so fun. I wish there was more stuff for him. Everybody is all into Tenna, and I get it. I get why everybody loves Tenna, because he has that whole thing going on with Spamton. Everybody loves a good, messy relationship. The old man is so good. There's a reason why I made the music for my outro of the one video I've made since chapter 3 and 4. His study music. I wish there was more stuff for him. I also wish that he had a shop-like image. It seems so weird to me that they don't give him a shop image. There's no new shops, like, graphic-wise. It's weird. Isn't that weird? Anyway, Hades 2. I think Hades 2, like Hades 1, has a really, really good gameplay loop. It feels good to go out, fight, die, come back, you harvest your plants, you talk to people, you give people nectar, you go out again, you get the supplies you need to help build up your base camp. That is so good. No, you're not the only Ram stan. I love Ram. I love Ram. There's so much interest in Ram. What is that guy's deal? What is Ram's deal? I gotta know. He better not be gone, because I gotta know. Sorry. Anyway, back to Hades 2. Good gameplay loop. I enjoy most of the weapons. A lot of them, though, there are, like, the skull and the cloak are just kind of okay, but, like, that's okay. There's multiple weapons. I don't need to like all of them. I like that you get little pets. I like that Prometheus is there, even though I wish you gotta hear him talk a little more, because I really like Prometheus in general. You prefer John Mantle? Ugh. He's just okay. No, I think there's a lot of interest in Mantle. I do wonder if he has any kind of connection to Ram. I do find it interesting that the song that plays, a lot of people... I assume you're talking about ERAM. Or a lot of people call him ERAM because that's a song that plays. I find it interesting that in reverse, that's Mare, which makes me think Nightmare. And I wonder what's up with that. Is he like the manifestation of a nightmare? that'd be crazy, but it'd go with me thinking that Ralsei is a manifestation of an imaginary friend. I don't know. Lots to think about. All you really need to know about Hades is that the characters are hot. I actually think I prefer the art in Hades 1. Hades 2, it feels like they're leaning a little more in, aren't these guys hot? And we're not posing them as interestingly. I don't know how to explain it. They still look good. They look good. I'm not saying the art is bad. The art is good. There's just not a lot of information on ERAM or RAM. He's the Purple Sulfide, of course. Ram's gonna come back as a secret boss. I could see it, actually. I could see that. Okay, 2 more games. That's right. That's all the games I've played, and I made Rain World into, 5. 6? 6. Kingdom 80s. Anybody who knows me knows I really, really like Kingdoms. It's a very basic kind of management sim. You have little townspeople and you give them a little job, and then you tell them either build a house here or go shoot these guys. It's so basic. It's bare bones. But I really like it. I've played a lot of specifically Kingdom New Lands. That's my favorite one. And then I was like, I should play Kingdom 80s. I love Kingdom. This one, they're kind of modern. There's a little bit of a plot going on almost. Guys. And it pains me to say. I wouldn't play again, and I wouldn't recommend. Partially because there are other better Kingdoms games out there. There are better ones. There are more fun ones. I was so disappointed by this one. Part of what I really like about Kingdoms is that you can just play. And I actually feel like having a plot really took away from just being able to go and do random stuff. Not go and do random stuff, but just do whatever. Just build your kingdom. Now there's an emphasis on getting a specific thing, and it made it so that each area felt less than for it. I don't know how to explain it exactly in good words. I didn't like Kingdom 80s. And nothing upset me more than not liking it. For reference, I would probably put Kingdoms New Lands probably in a love it. Maybe even a love it and rec to anyone, because it's easy to recommend because it's so simple. But at least recommend to most people, and I really love it. Anyway, final game. The Piece de Resistance. The game that everybody who wasn't waiting for Deltarune was waiting for. That's right, Silksong baby. And I am tempted. I am sorely tempted to put her in the love it and recommend to anybody. But because of my sister, this ended up really... Sorry, I'm just looking at how almost evenly dispersed it is. Anyway. I would recommend it to most people. Now, Silksong is a very hard game. It was devised as a sequel to Hollow Knight, and you can tell it was devised as a sequel by the fact it feels like it expects you to be as good as you are. Sorry. Devised as a DLC. What am I even saying? It was devised as a DLC for Hollow Knight, and you can tell because it sort of feels like it expects you to be as good at the gameplay as you were at the end of Hollow Knight. And that can be rough. I enjoyed most of it. There is a part where you get to Act 3, and it is really, really rough. You've spent the whole game getting good, getting better, learning the gameplay. Then Act 3 kind of punches you in your face and starts to kick you while you're down. And if you haven't done certain bosses before then, now the bosses are even harder. And you just feel frustrated at yourself for not having done them earlier. And you get upset at the game for making you fight them extra hard. And it's really frustrating. My sister was looking forward to Silksong more than anybody, which obviously might not even be an exaggeration, actually. She was looking forward to it a lot. And she just couldn't finish Act 3 because it was just making her too miserable. That being said, eventually you get to a point in Act 3 where, again, you feel like you have your feet under you. You have learned how to fight again, essentially, fight the new enemies. And you feel good about the game again. And it feels great again. It took me a long time to fight the final boss, but that just made it really rewarding when I managed to do it. And I think the plot line is really, really interesting. I think Hornet's whole deal is really cool. I really, really like Silksong. It might be a little overhyped, but I'm right up there with it in all the hype. I think it was worth the while. And it's definitely well worth the bang for your buck. I played so much of that game. Anyway, there you have it. Those are my games of 2025. I didn't think about how I would end this thing. Get good this, Garama that. Hornet should just lock in and not take 5 masks of damage from an attack. That's on me. That's on me. I can't believe I just let myself get hit over and over and over again. And there's, Silksong spoilers, but in Act 3, you get enemies who will essentially steal your silk. So now you're getting hurt and you're losing the ability to heal from getting hurt. It's rough. It's rough. But I loved it. And there's a DLC already being announced. Who knows? Maybe it'll come out the same day as Chapter 5 and 6. Is it Chapter 5 and 6 or is it going to be 5, 6, and 7? I can't remember. I think it's 5 and 6. Alright. Again, I didn't think about how I was going to end this stream. Does anybody have any questions before we depart? Nice little hour long. Not too bad. At any rate, like I've said, I want to be doing more with this channel. I didn't do anything really with it other than maybe 3 or 4 videos last year. Just Chapter 5? Okay. I didn't do much with it last year. I have just a lot of... I think I have anxiety over not making a good video. And I just need to ignore that and just make stuff because I do enjoy the process of making a video. And I should just not worry about it. Which is easier said than done. Greatest game of all time. Huh. You're gonna make me sit here really quiet thinking. We're just gonna go with my fallback, Skyward Sword. I think it's a good game. I think it's a lot of fun. I would play it again. I like the storyline. I think they're gonna drop 6 and 7 and just release the whole game. Okay, that makes sense. Hold back on 6 so that I can go with 7 and feel more worth it. What do you think Carol's Dark World design / fight will be like? I think if that does happen, it will be one of the most hyped fights in the game. I want to say we do not fight Carol. I don't think we will, but... I mean, you'd have to make her Snow Queen themed, right? You would have to. And probably also fight you with a katana. Extra points if she does the Bro Strider thumb pointing down. She would never, but hear me out. Wouldn't it look cool? Ratatouille the game on Xbox 360? I didn't even know that existed. You would have a bad opinion like that, though, Jacob. Still holding out hope that Carol is the knight. I am a Death Knight truther, unfortunately. The only one I can kind of be sold on is the crazy idea of what if Rudy is the knight. I don't think he is, but I think it would be cool. That being said, you Knight Mayors out there, you guys who want Carol to be it, you got some stuff going for you. I think it would be really interesting and fun. It does... forever have the question, though, why did they take Undyne? What was the point of that? Hey, question nobody's asked before, what the hell is going on in Deltarune? What's wrong with Hometown? I think that Carol will be one of the final bosses, but I don't think she is a knight. I could see that. I do definitely hope that they kind of continue to build her up as this imposing figure. But I actually don't think she's a bad person. A lot of people seem to kind of write her or draw her as a villain. And I'm not saying she was the world's best mom or anything, but I do think she cares. And I think she cares a little wrong, a little bit in a way that is detrimental to Noelle. But that doesn't mean that it's not still a form of caring. Does that make any sense? They're gonna feed the demons under the town some good fish sticks. Of course, why didn't I think of that? Duh! Obviously. Why hasn't the Roaring Knight tried bringing the Roaring? Are they stupid? I mean... Makes you wonder, though, if the point is the Roaring, why haven't we started it yet? Clearly the Knight has no qualms about just making a dark fountain in a dark fountain. Why have we not done that before? What stopped it from doing it again? I don't know. There's still so many questions. I should just make my little video where I just talk about all my itty bitty little theories from when I played the game. Oh, also, while I got some people here, would you be interested in me replaying chapters 3 and 4 on stream? I want to do more. I think I'd like to stream a little more. And if I make more Deltarune stuff, I want to refresh my mind on what happened in those chapters and not just be running off of memory and what people keep saying. It's shown on the weird route. We can see that Noelle really doesn't hate her mom. I could even see Noelle at first defending Carol against us. Absolutely. I just saw this comic where, like, Carol was the one who taught Chris to play piano, and I really like that idea. Alright, anyway, I need to go about my day now. Thank you to everybody who managed to come in. And we're chatting in the stream. I always like to stream a little. Also, full disclaimer here, streaming is the easiest way to make a little video. So instead of having to record myself and then put everything together for a little fun ranking video, I can just stream it. So thank you for being here, and also for me seeing if all of my stuff still works right. I hope you all have a wonderful Friday, and I will hopefully see you guys again soon. Bye.